For the past 3 years, the Humane Society of the United States has worked in South Korea to close down thousands of dog meat farms across the country. So far, 1,300 dogs have been rescued and transported to the U.S. and other countries to get the care that they deserve. Joining us now to discuss this very emotional issue, Acting President and CEO of the Humane Society of the United States, Kitty Block, along with one very loving dog who was rescued from a meat farm. Good morning, Kitty.
Good morning. Thank you for having both me and Abby.
Absolutely. Abby is gorgeous. I find myself, like I'm sure many of the other viewers watching right now, very upset, very emotional about this issue. So could you please just give us an idea of what is happening in South Korea? Dogs are being farmed for a profit?
Sure. So in South Korea, one of the Asian countries, actually the only Asian country that raises dogs, farms them to be slaughtered for food. And as you can imagine, this is a horribly cruel trade, and dogs, just like Abby, suffer so extremely. And so we work with the farmers to transition them out of raising dogs for food. It's an ugly business. They want out. And of course, their children want out. They don't want to inherit the business. It's literally, quite literally, a dying industry in the country. And so we work with them to find humane livelihoods, like growing blueberries or other crops that is suited to their land. And then we also work with the governments to pass legislation that would once and for all ban the trade. I think she wants to go somewhere that would ban the trade in these dogs. And the whole point is that these are family pets. They deserve not to be on dinner plates, but on couches and in people's homes. And that's our goal, to shut this down once and for all.
Absolutely, and I have to commend you. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. I have to commend you for being so brave to go in and make those changes, because it is important to make changes at an economic level, because that's the only way true change can be made. Please tell me a little bit more about your journey to South Korea and about this beautiful dog sitting next to you.
Well, I've seen footage before I ever went out to the farm. Of course, I always look at what people our staff are bringing back, and I've greeted the animals on the other end when they get to the U.S. So I thought I'd be ready to go to a dog farm. I thought I can do this. And as you're pulling up, I've said to colleagues, you smell the farm first, you hear the dogs crying out, and it hits you really hard. And so I got out of the van, I started walking towards the dogs, and it's just these rows and rows and rows of dogs in cages, packed, crammed in cages, desperate to get out, desperate to get anywhere near you for affection. And so it was hard. I mean, I was, let's just say I wasn't too helpful to the team for the first hour. I was pretty broken up. And, but then you pull yourself together. You got a job to do. I had to work with a farmer to negotiate the contract and close it down, and then help get the dogs out. And so the other thing that really struck me, which I wasn't prepared for, was, when you see these dogs in the cages, they're bones. They really are skin and bones. And so the first thing our teams do is get in there and get food and water into the animals. And so as I was standing there, dumping the food in and trying to get them as much as I could, what surprised me was that they knocked the food bowls over. They knocked the water bowls over. They were standing in their bowls. That's not what they wanted more than anything else. What they wanted was actually human contact. They wanted to be hugged. They wanted to be petted. They wanted to be held. And
Certainly.
That's really heartbreaking when you know what these animals go through and what their short and horrible lives are like on these farms. And that's why when we shut down and when we closed that farm and got the last dog out, it was really impactful and a powerful moment for my staff and me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you are touched by this story like I am and you would like to help, visit humanesociety.org. The Humane Society of the United States is a proud sponsor of the Morning Blend. You can also follow them on social.